Hello, everybody. It is Thursday, September 3rd, 2015. It is 7 o'clock. That means it is time for 5D&D. That's right, 5D&D. I know that we had a little bit of an extended break with, last week in PAX and stuff, but we have returned for this wonderful show. With me, as always, we have the human druid played by Mr. Bonsai161. His name is Frath. Say hello.
I feel like the human druid just doesn't sound right. Like you're trying to say, like, the human centipede, or, the human fly swatter.
His name is Human.
Human, the druid.
Human druid. Like, what else is it gonna be?
There you go. Well, there's plenty of things you for druid. It can be an elf. It can be also. And speaking of elves, we have the Elven Ranger Eladriel, played by Mr. Arkangeloflite. Segway.
Angry sausage.
Oh god, that's gonna become a thing for today, isn't it?
Really should.
Then, on top of that, I'm not gonna say that he is a thing, but he is certainly the human Tempest cleric, Yazata Irvin, played by Gerhalte.
Hello, boys.
Oh yes. And of course, I'm Zenyasa, the Kimbot Tool, the Dragonborn Fighter. I am FIGBird, also known as Steven, in case that comes up, because we usually do that. And of course, our Mr. GM man for the evening, and as always, is McCoreman.
Hello.
Why don't you go ahead and give us a recap for the last session, my friend, so everybody's on the same page with the things that is happening to our wonderful party.
You have so much gusto today. I love it. You were just
What? I
all
took a
filled
fucking
with
week
gusto.
off. I took a week off. What do you
Over
expect?
the week, Steven had a huge buildup of gusto, and it is just venting right now.
Yeah, it's kind of like, masturbation, like
2
that
weeks
first
off
time
of
you do after a
D&D,
week, it's just
Was
everywhere.
it 2 weeks from D&D?
2 weeks.
Yeah,
of
it
D&D.
was.
Oh, wow.
I
Okay.
took a week off. My back is
Right,
still in
yes.
recovery, but doing better.
'Cause I ain't your hollaback girl.
Is that not going to be a thing?
Anyways, why don't we get that recap going?
Yeah, so in our last session, our party members saw a dragon arise from the ritual that was happening, and the Lady Resmer hopped on top of it and started flying up into the sky. The other dragon that was watching the whole thing actually started fighting it.
Yeah, that was unexpected. Just gonna say.
Not quite expected.
Did not
It looks
see
like
that coming.
the dragon that was raised from the dead was not quite the dragon that they were wanting to raise from the dead, and something was controlling it. And that something, as we have seen in previous sessions, was the book. It had been controlling both the lady and now the dragon that was raised. The party went over towards the actual summoning circle to see if there was anything they can do, and ended up fighting the half-dragon champion. What was his name? Landragosa.
We're awful with names.
And several other guards that were around there. Through the fight, they were victorious. However, they were quite close to being dead.
Yep, that happened a couple of times.
Our heroes, Zenyasa and Yazata, both fell unconscious multiple times, and in the end, actually, Landragosa landed on top of them as he died, spilling his blood and sludge from the book all over them. Eventually, our party members were able to get the corpse off of them and get the sludge off of both Yazata and Zenyasa. However,
Yeah, it amused me because all the strength was underneath and unconscious.
that is correct. Our hero Rogue was able to kick off Landragosa with an incredible kick.
Can anyone say lucky kick?
And in the end, Yazata actually has a scar going down the side of his body where the sludge had been. Otherwise, besides the large colored patch on him, Yazata and Zenyasa seem to be unharmed. Further on, when the dragons were fighting in the air, eventually the newly raised dragon, the corpse of Kelarth, was brought to the ground and killed by Lazanathalon. And at some point during the fight, Lady Resmer actually cratered into the ground after being knocked off. From the corpse of Kelarth came a golden looked like a pseudo dragon that actually Lazanathlon said came from the magic that was part of the Biblio 9 that had been with the party for the last few sessions. Eladriel was able to befriend it and seems to be taking care of it at this time.
His name is Franklin.
He gave him the name of Franklin.
We should sell it for a lot of money because it's golden.
That's a really good plan. We should definitely do that.
Franklin may have words about that. You never know.
Does he even have words?
We're gonna tie his snout and then sell his bitch ass.
Yeah. That being said, I believe we rejoin our heroes as we're recovering from almost dying.
Yes, as
Oh,
we
so
recover
we've been
from almost
resting?
dying. And you're
I
right
believe
at the end of the
dragon
session.
flew off.
Okay.
Yes, Lazanathlon did fly off. The rest of his brood has died or been slain, and he was the last trying to resurrect his family. And he has decided that
So
he would
fuck that
rather
guy.
spend the rest of his life either away from here or on his own. He does not need anyone else. As he left, he did point Frath towards a item on the body of Lady Resmere to pick up. And I believe at the very last bit of our last session, the people were talking about what did a previous bad guy have that no one bothered to loot. We hadn't quite got there yet. But what are people wanting to do now? I believe Zenyasa and Yazata are both fairly low on the health. Eladriel was tending to them with the dragon. Then, yeah.
That's about where we're at.
That is where
We're
at.
still in the middle of this canyon thing, right?
That is correct.
Is there anything that looks like it could be a suitable shelter in the immediate vicinity?
As far as a shelter, I mean, there is the circle from where the body of Kelarth was. It's lowered into the ground, and you could possibly fashion some sort of roof for that. Otherwise, you'd be looking at sitting under like the shadow of one of the stone dragons. There isn't really any sort of cave or anything like that along these walls. That you
It's like midday, correct?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I mean, and we're on the top of a mountain, if I recall correctly.
Yes, you are.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, if that's our best option, but I would, I suppose, once we've sort of collected the things, I would probably go to Eladriel. And, Eladriel, I think that we should find a place to rest for the evening. Perhaps you can take some time to look around and see if there's a suitable shelter that we can use. As much as that I'd like to have shelter, I would prefer it not to be inside of a hole.
I feel like we should probably just hide under these big fucking statues and whatnot. But it's okay. You stay here. I'll go check the bodies, make sure they're really dead.
But afterwards, can you please look for a place that is not on the top of a mountain? The draft may not make it easy for us to recover.
Okay, I can scout ahead.
Thank you. And at that, she's going to probably find a spot to prop up and, not move.
Okay. So, Yazata, are you looking at healing yourself at all or anything like that?
Yes, I have a couple of things that I want to do. Is there any vegetation here at all? Not trees, but like any plant life, or is it totally dead?
There'd be some plant life near the
Because
the
I
walls.
need to go look for legume seeds.
And all of the companion cubes are actually trees.
Oh, okay.
So,
Well, there might be some of the roots or something. I guess they live in like sandy soil, so it's likely I could actually find some here. I also need to find some mica, which there definitely would be probably in this sort of area. Mica is sort of a
Okay.
silicate rock. It would be common, but I need some for reagents, so I need to gather a few things.
As a reminder, I believe this is Ladriel's favored
Terrain, yes.
So like he probably would know where any of that stuff is.
Yeah, so a couple of those. These
recalls.
are for pretty minor spells, but I do need to go collect some stuff just so I actually have the reagents to cast it, because otherwise it makes things a lot less
I just wasn't
exciting.
sure if you recalled that aspect, and if you didn't, I wanted to make sure that you did, because it's helpful to note.
Yeah.
So I'd want you to roll for the legume seed so you'd be able to find the mica easily enough.
Sure. Yeah. What am I rolling?
Survival?
All right,
or herbalism, I believe.
Okay, I do have herbalism.
Go ahead.
Let me pull up my sheet real quick. What is my survival? Survival is a nice roll, and herbalism. What is herbalism actually rolled at? Is it just survival?
I think it's going to be survival.
Okay. Yeah.
I didn't remember if herbalism.
Yeah, I rolled a 15.
Okay, yeah, you'd be able to find it. It'd probably take you half an hour or so to get an appropriate amount.
Sure.
So are you going to be doing that right away?
Yeah, I'm still in a little bit of so prior to actually, I do want to rest, but I needed to go find this just as a little foraging, and it helps me scout out the area like just a little bit too, to make sure nothing else is going to go on. So, all right, that's all I'm going to do in this area. I think just collect those and then rest with
I am kind of curious if Frath has any words for Zenyasa. They had kind of a not quite dispute, but sort of dispute
over
the dragon and sort of the differences between how each of us handled it. The conversation.
Don't remember any of those.
You remember? Okay, so like when you were talking with the dragon, you had sort of a sympathy for its situation, and although it was in Draconic for the most part, it seemed as if I was irritating the dragon when we left, or when it left, I should say.
Oh, right.
So, I mean, that's why I'm reminding, because I figured, it might be something you'd want to bring up, and this is probably a good time if you did. If not, that's fine too.
Probably not.
Okay. Just worth noting.
No.
Yeah, I mean, honestly.
Yeah, that's why I asked.
No.
Okay. So Frath, you did get a amulet with a large bear paw on it from the corpse of Lady Resmer, if you remember that.
Yes, I have that written down.
Okay. And Eladriel, what are you doing now? Anything fun?
I'm keeping Franklin close, and I'm gonna go and see if Frulam and his men have anything to hide.
Okay.
Amongst the dead bodies.
Give me just 1 second.
No, you don't get a second.
No!
Wait, you! Ah.
Like, no, you don't get a second, and then the DM's just like, and lightning strikes from the sky, your character is dead.
Die.
That sounds like how it would go.
Yes.
Like, don't mess with me, Thor strikes.
No, alright. So, when you look at Frulam, you do notice that on his back, you notice a rather large stone glaive. And beyond that, you find just a few small swords amongst the other corpses, a dagger or two, and
Severed monkey paw that grants you 5 wishes.
Oh,
I thought you just put up 4 when you said 5.
I did. That was dropping
the
the
5
fingers
okay.
down.
I just caught the tail end of that.
It's called a Hand of Glory.
and
It sounds like a sexual maneuver.
And on Frulam, you find a blue pouch of coins and gems.
Ooh.
That's on the other side of the glory hole.
Blue
You just gotta close your eyes and suck the treasure out of the hose, bro.
Alright.
Now, I know you said hose is in like a tube that, you put water through.
Not like
but,
in all different area
Well,
codes.
yeah, you can think of it that
But
way.
I was thinking hose in different area codes, and it was funny to me.
Of course you are.
Yes.
How large
Anyways.
is the stone glaive?
It is quite large. You notice it because the actual blade portion looks quite a lot larger than normal. Normally you'd expect the glaive to be like a 2 to a 3 foot long blade. This is actually more about a 4 to a 5 foot long.
Oh, Derek, it's so
and,
big.
It's made out of what looks like chipped stone.
Okay. Can I? I mean, I don't really have Arcana, but can I look at it and see if I feel anything special about it?
You look
It
at it and
appears
just
to be
wave
your
it in the air
mother's
to see if
blade.
any magic comes out of it.
If you so you look at it and you think it would be quite heavy. Beyond that, you think it just looks like
Big
a
stone
really
fucking block, yeah.
you
imagine.
look like it just looks like an incredibly clumsy weapon.
Okay. I would like to poke it.
All right.
Does my hand
poke
break off
it.
or something?
No.
All right. Would it be too heavy to drag?
You could try. Go ahead and give me a strength check on it.
Oh, that's gonna be terrible. It's probably one of my least.
3.
There we go. Yay! I've got a 7.
So
Nicely
you,
done.
you attempt to lift it up, and you're able to lift up the handle portion, but the actual blade portion is it's stuck on the ground, and you could drag it very slowly.
I would like to drag it over to Zanyasa.
All right.
Okay.
It's gonna take a little bit, but you can do
It's
that.
gonna be amusing.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty
definitely-
much.
I am very
Someone might walk
definitely-
off with it if you don't drag it back.
Yep. I'm very definitely gonna drag it over to Zanyasa.
She's probably mostly unconscious.
That's okay.
Just lean it up against her.
No.
It's like you wake up and
It
things
will
are
take me a
stacked
while,
on you.
but when I finally get there, I will very loudly drop it. Would Zanyasa react, or she just pass the fuck out?
Depends, I suppose.
How would you drop it? Would
Well,
you just like let it go
on
and let
her.
it fall on the ground, let it fall on her?
Well, I wouldn't let it drop on her, but
That's
as close
so-
to her ear as I can, and just kind of like, if I could slam it down, I would.
Okay. So instead of letting it fall, you're actually like throwing it down
Yes.
right next to Okay. All right.
Oh, this might be bad.
You go ahead and do that. Zenyatta, you're like somewhat relaxing, and suddenly there's a really loud bang happens right next
So-
to your head.
Basically, I should describe. I'd be leaning up against something with my glaive in my arm, like in like sort of a sentinel position, but on the ground sitting. So
you'd have
that
it-
changes your action.
Would you have it like laying on over your lap, or like?
It'd be like
standing up?
in the crook kind of thing.
Okay, so it's like laying up against the wall behind you as well.
More like in my hands.
Okay.
Think like Kenshin back in the day.
All right.
That
okay,
helps no
gotcha.
one.
Yeah.
No,
How does
I-
it?
It might help
How
Corman.
did these
Sitting with his sword in his hands, like he's
Yeah.
propping his arms up with his knees and just holding the sword like
Exactly.
vertically while he's on the ground leaning against it.
Exactly. You described exactly what I was trying to get across. So yeah, that's how I am. So you're still doing this, right?
Well, yes, but now I'm thinking if you're leaning against a tree, I should be on the back side of the tree.
Oh, okay.
All right. So
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and make.
large-
I'm assuming at disadvantage an attack roll at the thing that's making the sound.
well, let me see.
I mean, if I get suddenly startled out of mostly unconsciousness by a loud sound nearby me, I'm going to be making an attack roll at whatever I perceive in front of me.
Well, he's
Or
not in
around
front
you.
of you.
Right,
so,
right. But you know what I mean? Like that's how I'm going to react in that circumstance.
All right. Go ahead and make an attack roll.
All right. I'm doing it at
Eladriel-
disadvantage, just cause.
All right, Eladriel, give me a athletics check to dodge out of the way.
So productive.
I know, right? Well, it was a 14, so he's probably.
I got an
okay at
actual
disadvantage.
20.
All right.
There you go. You don't get hit by this. That's good.
All right. So he throws it down, and you're startled. You wake up, and you just
Jump to my feet
swing
and
your glaive
immediately swing.
around behind you. towards the sound as you look over there. And right as you look, you notice him backflipping backwards out of the way from your strike as your glaive actually hits the blade that's now on the ground in front of you.
Okay.
And then I would like to look at Zenyatta and at the glaive and be like, I'm gonna go scout now, and then walk away.
She's going to growl and then look at this glaive.
And as you look at the glaive, you then look at your glaive and you notice you chipped the blade.
Okay. I'm going to see what I can do about repairing my glaive.
All right.
Well, you can just put some epoxy in there and just fill that little gap there. It'll work.
Well, I mean,
it'll
if
work
I
fine.
depending on how it's chipped, I might be able to, you
can just buff that out.
undo. Right, I can undo
Right,
like.
it'll buff right
yeah,
out.
it'll
It's
buff
like
out.
a chip like that deep.
Well, I mean, if it's a chip like in the
buff-
blade
it'll
like that,
buff
I can
right
still
out.
sharpen the area around it, things like that.
Your
Like I said.
insurance will actually cover this this glaive repair. Just come to my little stand in this parking lot, repair it, no problem.
Okay. Not sure what a parking lot is, but I'll go to it.
Use some epoxy and a little
It's
fire.
actually it's a dragon graveyard, also known as a parking lot.
Oh, okay. It's
Yeah,
a dragon
you're
parking
in
lot.
one
Got it.
basically. I'll repair it, no problem.
It's good to know. Thank you for that.
Yes. Yes. All right. So, as you are repairing it, you do notice that the glaive that's on the ground that you're not repairing does catch your eye.
Okay.
It looks like it was crafted in an old dragon style, but it's definitely quite an ancient piece of stonework.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Anybody wanting to do anything else or anything happening? What? Eladria, you're going to scout. Where exactly were you going to scout? Did you have any place in particular?
So I'm looking for shelter. So this being my my most comfortable terrain, would I know kind of where cave areas would be, or just general? If I'm looking at these mountains, where generally caves would sit.
Okay. You might be able to find a small impression. You probably won't find a lot of large caves in this area. You'd be able to find some basic shelter, but it's not going to be a very deep cave or anything like that.
Okay, yeah, and that's all I'm looking for. So I wanna scout in whichever direction something like that would be, because I'm really just looking for some place where everyone can just hold up for a bit and heal and whatnot.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, if you're just looking for a place to set up camp and such, the walkway where you guys are coming into the valley was nice. And it was flat, and you'd be able to actually set up a nice little camp there if you're wanting to do that.
Okay, yeah, I'd like to kind of make my way back and motion everybody over. I found a place where we can all rest and it's not amongst all the bones. And then just motion everybody over.
Okay. I'm going to slowly prop myself up and follow.
Yeah, I'll go along with.
So, Eladriel, you notice that as Zenyatta gets up, he does pretty much nothing to the glaive that you dragged over there. And it just kind of left where you dropped it.
I'm gonna drag it back over.
Okay.
This is the most comical looking thing ever.
All right.
You want to retry that strength roll, big guy?
I did do a strength roll. I'm okay with dragging it. I've got nothing better to do. Everyone else is going to be
So
sleeping.
he brings us to this location. Is there a good spot that's sort of, in out of the wind, that kind of thing, that I can continue to lay my head, essentially?
Yeah, I mean, you guys could set up a little camp. It's a fairly flat area. There's some walls that kind of have some recesses in them that you can make sure that rain's not going to fall directly on you. If you want, you could set up a fire and relax there for the day and rest up.
I mean, that's going to happen.
Mhm.
Yes.
That's
Yes, it
just
is.
a requirement.
Yeah.
And there's going to be this part where, fuck fires, I don't need that.
All right. So if anybody is wanting to do anything like that,
Yeah, I'm gonna take a rest because I'm completely drained of spells.
Yeah, I've used all of my special powers and all the fun things. It's time for me to rest.
all right. Okay. So you guys do rest.
So, in the middle of the night, because I only need, or middle of the rest, because I only need half the rest, I would like to find some sort of colorful plant I can make into a bow and tie around this glaive.
Okay. You'd be able to find some leaves, and you could theoretically make a bow with a few different leaves from the trees. You could do that.
And with my remaining time, I'll just I'll take some time to kind of play with Franklin a little bit and trying to figure out, you know, likes, dislikes, kind of the mood of the beast.
All right.
The
Okay.
Mood of the Beast is my first album.
Is that from Angry Sausage?
No, we're not a country band.
Angry Sausage is not a country band. They're just popular in the country scene.
Well, then I highly doubt they're gangster rapper death metal.
Actually,
Right.
no, I did have. Never mind. It's a whole thing.
Oh man. Indie band tycoon, is that what you're playing or something?
I think it's like Band Wars or something. I don't know.
All right.
Nonetheless.
Eladriel's going to be actually doing a watch for looks like half the night. Is anyone else going to be doing a watch?
I mean, if I wake up in the middle of the night, maybe, but it depends on if I get the full or short rest.
All right. So during the night, Zenyasa, you. Let me see. How can we do this?
You wear your little dragon panties.
Not quite.
Damn it.
No. During the night, though, you do have a dream.
Okay.
As you are, you feel like you're just waking up, sitting up from where you are sitting right now, or where you're laying right now, and next to you, you do feel, you sense some kindred spirit near you, looking up to the night sky.
Okay. Beside me, like where?
Actually, just next to where you're sleeping.
I can't see this, but I sense it.
Well, if you look around, you do notice
Which I
that there looks to be something of a dragon that is curled on its side and is calling out to the sky.
And Draconic, I'm going to ask, Who are you?
It says, I am Kellarth.
Kellarth?
What brood do you herald from?
My clan was the Kimbatul. I come from a strong line of Bahamut.
Bahamut. So, you were the one... No, you were not the one that freed me. That was my son. You were with the group near him, right?
I am not sure. Who was your son?
That would have been Lazanathalon.
That, for clarification, was the name of the dragon from before, yes?
Yes.
Yes, though We did not have a hand in it.
Ah. Well, as this stands, I will yet sleep again in the land of the dead. And he looks at the sky. You actually see a head reaching up, and he's gazing about. And it looks.
I'm going to also look.
It just looks like it's a normal night sky, except wherever Kellarth is looking, you actually start to see specific constellations grouping together in the form of different dragons.
Okay. Are
In
they
the
any
sky.
that like I recognize offhand, or are they just sort of dragons in general?
There are a few that you think are familiar that ring that kind of tug at your memory. You think you know them, but you're not too sure.
Okay.
You don't know any of them by name immediately, but they all look very familiar. And he says, "It was nice to see this land again. I must depart back to the death." And he slowly sinks back down into the ground. And as you look down where he went into, you see the outline of a large curved blade on the
Okay.
ground.
Well, then at that point, I will take the blade as I say, "May you rest in peace. I will carry your memory for eternity."
So, as you pick up the blade, go ahead and give me a strength check.
I can do that. I'm good at these. Woo!
2.
That would be a, let's see, 18.
All right. So as you pick it up, you feel like there's an initial really, really intense struggle to pick it up. But once you've gotten it off the ground, it feels light in your hand.
Okay.
And as you're holding it, near the bottom, it looks like there's something that should be there, like some sort of handle or pole. But there's nothing there right now.
If I look around, is there something that sort of fits that nature, or?
No.
Okay. I suppose then I'm going to, I guess, look for that in the dream.
And as you
Think
start
something's
looking for it, you drift off, and you
Okay.
can't find anything.
Fair enough.
All right. Anybody else wanting to do anything in the night?
Nope. Got my new spells picked up, so I'm all good.
All right. And then daytime comes around. Eladriel,
Yes.
you were wanting to tie a bow.
So I was.
How big of a bow?
As big as I can fucking make it.
All right. Let me see. Da, 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 da. You know what? Yeah. All right. So you're able to find a few large leaves, and you're able to make this about foot long bow that's just right around the blade, and it looks incredibly tacky. But you think it'll serve its purpose.
Alright.
All right. So as everybody wakes up, Zenyasa,
Yes.
you wake up, and next to you, there happens to be a blade with a giant bow on it. And the blade actually looks exactly like the blade that was in your dream.
Okay.
But then you notice that this is also the glaive that Eladriel had pulled over and dropped next to you that you had chipped your glaive on earlier.
Fair enough. I'm going to try and pick it up.
Okay. So yes, this, you notice, is incredibly difficult to pick up. Your muscles are straining on it, but as soon as you're able to get
Impressive for a near 20 strength.
yeah, as soon as you're able to get it off the ground, you feel it just changes instantly as soon as the whole thing is up off the ground, and it feels light and incredibly well balanced for a glaive. And even though it has an incredibly long sword on the or a blade on the end of it, you know you would be able to use this effectively.
I see.
You just know.
Then I'm going to just carry it, I'll fucking, nonchalantly, considering the fact that it's, supposed to be heavy, and I'm going to go to Eladriel and say, "Where did you find this?"
I got it for you.
But where did you find it?
I was over there. And I'm gonna point at the bodies.
So specific.
I'm going to look over there. Is there a specific thing that he's pointing at, or anything to note?
We're actually pretty close to the bodies.
Yeah,
Well,
you guys are
I
you
get
guys
that,
are really
but I
close
mean-
to the bodies. I mean, there is the large body of the half dragon in the area that he was pointing at.
Anything else of note specifically? Or is it just that?
There were the two cultists that were not plagued. They actually were turned back into their regular selves. They're also dead right in that vicinity.
They are
But
also
it would be obvious that neither of them would be able to pick this up.
Right. So I'm going to wander off to the body of the Dragon Champion.
Mm-hmm.
And as I get there, I'm going to say a prayer of some kind in Draconic to the fallen foe, similarly to what I might have done in the dream.
All right. Okay.
That was a long rest, right?
Yes, that was a long rest.
It
You
needs
guys
to
can
have
pick
been.
yourself up.
Just
You still
wanted
have
to
some
double-check
bandages
that.
on, and you're still a
Right.
little sore. You're still coughing a little bit, but yeah, you're back up in normal. And after you say that prayer, you are inspired. Dun, dun,
Ah,
dun.
yes.
All right.
see a little before you.
That means I get an extra expiration point, right?
Inspiration means you can blow it to have advantage on a roll.
Yeah, but it's an extra point, basically, right?
You can only have one. You can only be inspired once. So
Oh, well, fuck.
if you haven't used your inspiration from previously, you are still inspired, but you can't. You don't stack it.
I want a second point. There's a whole box for inspiration points. All right.
Pretty
well,
sure
I
you
guess
can
I
only have
wasted
one
one.
inspiration point.
Well, that's fine. I guess I'll wait that. Or I'll sorry, not wait that, but waste that. It's all good. I don't need no inspiration points, motherfuckers. Totally should have used one of those on our evil fight of almost dying.
I did, but that's because I thought I had two and one left over.
Yeah, you can only have one inspiration. That's just
Okay.
it.
Fair enough.
Well, then I will not change that number to a 2. I will leave it as a 1.
Now, Zenyasa, there still is this giant leaf bow that has been fashioned. It's in the midpoint of the glaive.
Oh yeah, I'm just gonna take that off.
Okay.
'Cause it's just a thing that just doesn't need to be there. It's clearly not meant to be there.
And after he takes it off, Eladriel, you do get one inspiration as well for being very cheeky about it.
I didn't even have to change the sheet. It was already on the sheet.
All right.
You mean I didn't actually have one, but I do now? Wink. Oh,
Alright.
Good God.
Okay.
All right. Well, then I'm going to return to the group. I don't recall. Did we have any direction from here? I don't think we had any clear space that we had to go to besides potentially returning for the finishing of the contract, right?
Well, so the goal for returning for the contract was you're trying to get the shipment back for Big Steve.
It's the shipment not here.
The shipment was the book and several of the robes for sorry some of the robes, the ceremonial robes for Arathis, those were actually burned by the cultists as they left.
So we don't have any of the items, is what you're telling me.
No, you do not.
Oh, Wonderful.
The book was entirely consumed. It is gone, and the robes were all destroyed.
Okay, then I'm going to return to the group and simply say that it looks as if none of the items that we were sent to see or to retrieve have survived the conflict that we faced last. Is it?
Hey,
morning?
can I interject real quick? Is the
Yeah.
crow still with us?
Yeah, he's kind of just been flying up in the air, but he is around. I mean, if you
Okay.
called for him, he would be able to come down.
Okay. Sorry, I was just curious
That's
on the
fine, that's
subject of things that were with us or not with us.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
So yeah, she's going to say that it seems that the items that we. But yeah, it is the morning, right? That's what I was asking.
mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
It seems that the items that we were sent to seek have been consumed in the conflict from last night. I am not sure whether we should see if there are others, or if it is best we just return to Steve and give him the sad news.
Well, that's another town I could never go back to.
Why is it that we cannot go back?
We haven't fulfilled the contract. How can we show our faces?
How can we fulfill the contract if the things were destroyed? Wouldn't it be best if you were the shopkeeper to understand that your things have been destroyed?
He might hit you.
I am not worried about him hitting me. I'm worried about not fulfilling the honor that we said we would.
All right, well then.
And even if we
then
do not get
you
payment,
to
it is
tell
still
him,
important.
And I'll just watch.
Fair enough. But perhaps we should make our way back that way?
The only other thing of note was Frath had a thought that Lazinathalon had described the old friar in Esterlin as possibly the person who tipped them off towards the book being in Esterlin. So, otherwise,
Okay.
that is
Just
all of
Frath.
the leads that we have had left.
I don't think I was there for that part of the conversation.
You were not, no.
Right.
But Frath could speak up, and I believe he was thinking of Father Jubal,
Jubal.
the old fat friar from Esterlin.
Father Bibble.
Yeah, actually, if he's suggesting going and talking to that guy, I was honestly going to say I'm not doing that anyways because I have no interest in money or that guy's
Well,
life, so.
I know you don't, but still, that's the conversation right now.
Yeah, so I'm just going to be like, I'm thinking I'm going to go back to that town and talk to Father Jubbles.
For what reason?
I'm not done being convinced that he has had nothing to do with all the dragons.
Is there a reason why that you suspect him for anything more than trying to save the people?
Yes.
Well, what is the reason?
I spoke with that big dragon guy. He said the Father Jubbles, knew the guy by name there.
And you trust the dragon?
It really didn't have much of a reason to lie. It also did not decide to melt us, so it makes him a pretty stand-up guy in my book.
He did try once.
Your point is well taken. We can certainly go back and see what we can investigate from there. It seems like a decent idea if we had good reason to suspect him of something. Perhaps we can figure out what is actually going on.
Like, seriously, no one's gonna remember that he tried to melt us once before.
But that was the other dragon.
Nope.
No, it was the same dragon.
Same dragon.
Yeah, it was the same dragon. Yeah.
I mean, but to be fair, though, at the same time, that dragon could be trying to take down this Father Jubal's. Just saying.
Yeah.
That's why I'm bringing that up.
Oh, okay. So you're going to bring that up then?
That was me talking to both of the characters. Like,
Oh, I did not realize.
yeah, I do know that he did try to melt our faces at least once before.
Yeah.
Well, he tried to melt us around, Father Jubbles. Saw us with the Father Jubbles. I think it's worth at least talking to Mr. Jubbles. Also, I give no shits about your money or your stupid job or your items. Really just give shits about dragons.
And on most of those points, I do agree. Although I still think it is honorable to make sure that the information of the items is passed on to the person who had contracted us to do so.
All right,
but
all
either
right.
way, it is important that we also get to the bottom of this. And I think that, well, if the father is something to do with what is going on, he should definitely be asked questions regarding what has transpired.
What was the name of the elf guy that we ran into in the woods again?
Andalon?
Andalon?
That guy.
I think maybe we should also keep eyes out for this Ansdalon. I still don't know how much I trust the guy who seems to know everything about me. Don't really talk to people.
Yes, I do agree that I am not sure what his standing in the matter is. Either way, it seems as it is best that we continue our way back to Esterlin. Perhaps we can find more information.
Alright, so the plan is look for Antolon wherever he may be on his magic castle, and then talk to Father Juggles. Alright, let's do that.
I just want everybody to keep butchering his name forever.
Yes.
I'm on board with visiting Father Bojangles.
Perfect.
Very well, then that is what we shall do.
No, my character did not actually say it in that voice, just so we're clear.
Oh, I thought you actually decided to define a voice for your character.
No,
Oh,
no,
okay.
no. No. My character uses many different voices. I have this feeling he's like schizo or like split personality or something.
You know,
Oh,
it
okay.
concerns me that you don't know if your character is schizophrenic.
Well, that's how you know, because you don't know.
Fair enough. All right, so that seems like a decent idea. I imagine that we pack up our camp and meander that direction unless we have something to stay around here for.
All right. Yeah, you don't really have anything to hang around there for if you want. I mean, your guys' call. Nothing's really leaping out at you guys. So as you guys are going to be heading back to Esterlin, it's about a 3-day travel time by foot back there.
Text message! Text message! Somebody got a text message!
Yeah, that was me. I have multiple devices, and they're all yelling at me.
All right,
computer,
so yeah,
I mean, that's called a vibrator.
It's not a magic wand. Yes. Yeah, I'm having fun over here. No. Not quite.
Nice.
All right. So as you guys are going to be heading back, somebody go ahead and roll me a D100 on the good
I
old
can do that.
encounter table.
Oh.
All right.
See.
47.
You guys had nothing. All right.
All
Nice.
the way back to Esterlin? Or to our first campsite?
The whole way back.
Okay.
It's not going to be that huge. We're in open terrain out in the wilderness.
Right. I mean,
We're
I
not
remember
in
the
like
terrain. I
a
just wanted
really
to double
crazy
check.
area.
Okay, while we get sort of close to Esterlin, I'm going to take, everybody sort of aside or kind of converse on the way and simply ask, do we have any specific way we wish to do so? Do you think that he might suspect our return? Should we be worried about the way he receives us?
If I'm being completely honest, I'm not really scared of Father Jubbles.
It isn't that I am afraid, I am worried of an ambush. Better to be prepared.
We
is it
just fought a dragon. I think we'll be alright.
I would argue that maybe the two dragons sort of fought each other, and that's more what killed the
I wasn't going to
dragons.
say anything for his sake, but
We did very little in the actual killings of the dragons.
I didn't say we
I was
killed
not
them.
going to say
I
anything.
said we fought it.
Rather unsuccessfully.
And
Right.
we're still here, and the dragon is not. We're doing something right.
Either way, if he is going to attack us, he might have the entire town on his side.
If he chooses to attack us, he chooses to attack us. For now, we should not assume that all of the people are in on a huge conspiracy.
Huh. Since when
Simply
is
why I
the
am asking.
Since when is the hermit not the paranoid one? Are you feeling all right?
All right, well then I'm going to continue without any... Well, I'm going to be, paranoid in the sake of just making sure that nobody, sort of pops out of nowhere, but otherwise just going to go in straight from the front.
As we approach the town, I'd like to have Franklin just fly up and see if he can relay any images to me that of danger or whatnot.
Not really. You don't really get a lot of. You don't really get pictures from him. You get more of just like feelings and emotions from him, and he's just pretty curious about things. Not really concerned about it at all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But as you do go along, you notice that he and Magnes end up playing around while they're flying around quite a bit. Like they're having a good time together.
That's good. I was hoping one would not try to eat the other.
That would be kind of unfortunate. Yes. All right. So as you guys start approaching Esterlin, you do notice that it looks like there's a lot more activity from a distance. You see there's a lot of people in the city.
From which direction are we coming, by the way?
Well, you'd be coming from the east, so you're heading west towards Esterlin, a little south from the mountain area.
We'll be coming from the mountain when we come.
You'll be coming when the mountain when you come. Yeah.
Just thought somebody got it.
Yes. Yes.
No,
Sorry,
everybody got it, but we were all busy judging you.
Hold on. I mean, so I just want to make sure. I thought we left to the north of the town. Are we coming in from a different direction?
You're coming in from the northeast. But,
okay, we're coming in from the northeast side. Got it.
Yeah, but it's more east than from the northeast. So you do see it looks like a lot of the town is in repair. Where
right.
things
I mean,
were
it was
burned.
on fire when we left.
Yes. It was on fire. Several of the buildings are look to be boarded up. You can see fresh paint from a distance that's bright, and a lot of activity around the whole city. It looks like a lot of the people that had been fleeing the town have now come back, and looks like it's turned into a much more lively, active town.
I have once again donned my my cloak.
Okay.
As a note, in case that was not obvious, I should.
So as you are walking now, instead of a regular glaive that you'd have on your back, you now have a.
I have both.
You have both still. Okay.
Yeah. Why would I get rid of my glaive?
All right. So the large stone glaive is notably larger than your regular glaive.
Yeah.
And is much
well,
more.
I suppose if that guy was carrying it when it was he sighted in the town? I don't recall.
No, he was not. He was not
okay.
sighted in
So
the
I wouldn't be worrying about it. Okay, got it.
No. You guys had not seen Fruin at all before.
Cool. So yeah, I'm not worried about it then. Oh yeah, no, it's notably larger. Yes.
Yes.
That's
all
what
right.
she said.
Button. All right. Yeah.
No, actually, this is probably a pretty good place for us to take our break if we want. We're right at that hour-ish mark. You want to do that real fast and return at about 5?
Sure. We can do that.
Breaking time, yeah.
Why don't we go ahead and do that? So anybody who's watching right now, we're going to take a quick 5-minute break, sort of stretch our legs, get drinks, all that kind of shit. But we will be back very shortly. In the meantime, guys, we'll return when we do.
Burbs.
Burbs.